those vegan guys. I thank you.
Hello my loves, I'm hoping that the camera is focused correctly. I haven't used her in a little while, we've been using the phone a lot. Hi, I'm Paul, one of those vegan guys. My lovely husband Jason is at work at the moment. It's the 19th of January and suddenly I realise, Paul, you haven't done the kitchen vlog yet. Now if you're new to the channel, these are quite a common instalment into our repertoire, into our body of work here. Sometimes I just like to have a sit in the kitchen with a coffee and have a chat just about general stuff. And for those of you that are new to the channel, don't let this frighten you because it shouldn't with anybody, but I do speak very frankly and openly about my mental health. Because it's took quite a few knocks over the last, 5 years, really. A whole kind of string of events that have led us to where we are now. I'll give you the brief details. October 2016 kicked off a TV show I'd been hosting in Manchester for a year, unpaid. It had basically become like a full-time job. Kicked off because apparently there'd been one complaint to Ofcom about my being negative about Theresa May, and you know, you're supposed to be unbiased. No one had told me that for the year I'd been hosting shows. I digress. 1 month later, actually it was 2 weeks later, because that happened mid-October. 6th of November 2016, Jason and I were... before I toddle on to that, I'm just going to briefly tell you these and point to things. If you want to see the last ever episode, the episode that was complained about, I did 2 more after that. If you want to see the episode that was complained about, it's on the channel. I'll link it up there. Loved doing that show. 2 weeks later, after being kicked off this show, not knowing whether I was ever going to get back on the air or not, Jason and I were the victims of an horrific armed robbery. Just the 2 of us and 4 armed, masked folk. And I've talked about this a lot on the channel, but to get a nice little crisp idea of what happened, not so long back we were willing participants in a documentary making exercise by the lovely Mr. Simon Gorgyman on YouTube, and the proof of concept version of that documentary, the short version that encapsulates as much as possible to kind of sell it as an idea for a documentary, he gave us to upload to the channel. We did that just before Christmas, so I'll link that up there too, because that gives you a brief insight. There's going to be a longer version of that documentary at some point, possibly this year, and we very much look forward to seeing it. So all of that was 5 years ago. Cue a lot of the fallout that happened because of that robbery, which with me was stress, anxiety and panic attacks to some tune. And there have been pinnacle moments since that happened where I've kind of said, right, it's all over now, I've dealt with it, it's done, it's dealt with. And then November comes along and that seasonal kind of memory of it, and I realise it's not gone, and it will never be gone. I think that's what I have to face up to, is that will never leave. None of that will ever leave me. I will learn to live with it, learn to thrive with it, become as a thriver, but it will never leave me, and I have to stop looking for that finality, because there's not going to be one necessarily. So it does still affect me. In fact, just this very morning, and I think this is probably what's triggered this today. Just this very morning, I had a phone call from the victim liaison service, who've been kind of regularly in when there's been a prison move, or because they got one of them, and he's about to go into an open prison where he can go home. Apparently that was the last letter I got. So I got this call this morning from this guy saying, "Hi, I've not had any response to any of the letters I've sent you." Well, none of them required a response. They were just giving me information. Would you like to continue to receive information? And I said, you know what? No, I wouldn't, actually. I think I need to move on from this now, as best I can. Like I said, that's not possible, but it is possible, because that's one thing I can do. I can say, stop informing me now. I don't want to know. I can't see how it helps. How does it help? Who does it help? I said, there are things that I cite a lot when I'm kind of calling people out for the posts they make or the comments they leave, that you should always ask yourself before you write something or say something to someone, how does this help what I'm about to say or post? Who does it help? And if you can't give a clear answer to both, it's probably just something you really want to say. It's not that the other person really needs to hear it or wants to hear it. It's about you. It's about something you really want to say. And unfortunately, sometimes that can be quite negative. Anyway, I digress. So here we are in the middle of Veganuary, and YouTube, as usual, has become, I like to think of it as a healthy addiction, to be honest with you, because what we do on YouTube does bring in a tiny little bit of income, the kind of equivalent of a very small part-time job for me, while Jason works in his full-time job and does this too. So it does, without that, it'd be a very different situation. It does help, and particularly those of you who are channel members and patrons, helps massively, because we know that that's always there every month at a particular point in the month, usually between the 21st and 25th. Apart from the patrons, that's on the 1st of the month. These little pockets of things massively help us to continue this, but I don't have to berate myself, but I'm learning to talk about this because I counter it. So what I did the other day was, I was in the kitchen, I was thinking, if Jason and I were full-time, I'll tell you what, I can show you what triggered it. I opened the freezer and I keep seeing these Just Roll Vol-au-Vent cases. They've been in there for quite a while. And my immediate thought, yes, when I spotted them the other day was, why didn't I do a Vlogmas with them? Why didn't I incorporate them into a Vlogmas? I could have done like 3 different kinds of vol-au-vents. Thus is the joy, and this is why we work towards it. And whether that's a pipe dream or not, if you don't work towards things, you'll never get them. If you don't believe, well, I believe we can become full-time YouTubers. And if we were full-time YouTubers, that would have been done. Of course it would. Because all of that stuff takes planning and working out and writing down and fitting in and filming and editing and uploading and make sure you've got all the ingredients to do it. And there's a lot goes into making one vlog, so we do incredibly well when you consider that Jason has a full-time job outside of what we do on YouTube, and bless him for that. But yeah, our aim is to definitely one day, hopefully, become full-time YouTubers or vegan influencers or whatever, because we believe that what we bring to the table, this down-to-earth approach to veganism, doesn't alienate people. lets people know that, hey, yes, you too can be vegan. You've got the pocket for it. Of course you can afford it. You've got the accessibility for it because we show you it in every supermarket. You've got the skill for it because if I can cook these things, so can you. And you should be doing it because the animals are always at risk and the planet's always at risk, and we at least should be working towards that not being the case. At the very least, it's the least we can do. And that brings me on to something else, because I've noticed a few new vegans have already felt attacked by family or friends or just people on the internet. And that does happen because people don't understand why you're doing something which seems to them so radical, such a, oh, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? If you know that you're saving animals' lives, benefiting your own health, and benefiting the water system on our planet, the air quality on our planet, the climate on our planet, and in fact the planet itself, if veganism benefits all those things, why wouldn't you be doing it? That's the answer to the question. So yeah, you will get attacked. You will get attacked. You'll get attacked by people verbally, and it's their own cognitive dissonance. Everybody knows. Everybody. Nobody wants to hurt animals. Jason and I made a little film called Be the Change. I'll link it up there. It's a couple of minutes long, that's all. But I'll give you the thesis of it. It's not the thesis. I'll give you the gist of it. It asks you the question: if you were driving, hypothetically, don't say I can't drive, you can. You're driving down a country road. You see an animal trapped in a fence with its head all twisted, obviously in distress. You can very easily pull up. You can see that. You can very easily pull up and help the animal. Virtually every decent human being on earth would. They would not want to see that animal hurt or in distress. They would pull up their car, they would walk up to the fence, they would try and get the animal out, whether it be a pig or a cow or a sheep or a chicken or a turkey or a horse, whatever. You would try to help it and you would feel better about doing that. Then you might go home and eat a slab of flesh from the exact same species as the animal you've just saved and not even think about it at all, because by the dairy and the meat industry we've all been programmed, and by our upbringings as well. I was raised on meat and 2 veg, lamb's leg every Sunday without fail. Always, mostly fish on a Friday, always fish on a Good Friday. My mother, quite religious. Dad wasn't, complete atheist. I'm an atheist, probably agnostic. So we've all been programmed to, this is normal, it's normal for animals to be taken on our behalf into a place where they don't want to go and have their throats slit against their will to end up on a plate. I have to, these are just words I'm saying at the moment because I visualise it, it crushes me, and that's another thing that I want to get onto. Don't visualise it. Don't visualise it. If it haunts you, don't think about it. If you're already vegan, you're already doing everything you can to help. You're already going above and beyond so many other people on earth. So you have a right not to think about it, because everything you're doing is trying to prevent it. You don't have to think about it. It's going to happen until everybody wakes up. And in our actions and our inactions and our words, we share ways of being better, of doing better, of planting trees we'll never sit under. So I know it's very easy to say don't think about it, but what you have to do is, when the thoughts come in about the horror, the abuse, the everything that animals go through, remember that you are doing your best to prevent it. You are actively fighting against it. Everything you eat and everything you do is a call to action for those animals. Don't forget that. It's very important. I need you to remember that. For those of you very strong-willed, I'm somewhere in the middle. I can be an emotional wreck. I can also be a tough ass. Would I recommend vegan activism, getting involved in it? Yeah, yes I would. I absolutely would. Because there are so many ways that you can do it. Had a conversation with Hilda in the canteen at work about why you don't eat fish anymore while she was eating her fish. She asked you. You weren't pushing it on her. Activism. Activism. Take a cake round to your friend's tea party and everyone loves it and wants the recipe and it's vegan and you share it. Activism. Activism. Cube. Marvellous. If you can do a cube, that's where everybody stands around in a town centre holding either an iPad or a laptop or something, showing real, actual footage from a slaughterhouse. And there are other people dotted about who are engaging in conversation with the people who are walking past and viewing this about their reaction to it. How do they feel about it? Would they prevent it if they could? Because they can, just by being vegan. A pig save. I can't tell you the amount of admiration I have for the activists that do this religiously, meaning not with any religious innotations, but often regular, constant. It's their calling. I couldn't do pig saves regularly because they break me, but some people can, and that's where they stand outside of slaughterhouses as the trucks come in with the pigs and they show them a moment of compassion. They give them a squirt of water, they speak in a gentle voice and tell them they're beautiful. I've had to just make that into words again. Just words. I am doing all I can. And if there were more I could do, I would. I'm actually going to be having a chat with somebody from FARS, Farm Animal Sanctuary, I believe it's called, later this month, and probably going to make the video into a fundraiser, because that's something you can do too. You can find a local animal sanctuary, one that rescues all animals, or maybe specific animal, and you can give them a couple of £1 a month, £5 a month. You can offer to help. You can call them and ask how you can help. You can volunteer at a local animal sanctuary or, you know, rehoming facility, or you can just be vegan. There is no there is no compunction to be anything other than vegan. All I'm saying is, if you can do activism and you want to, you should. Definitely. I'm still very, very interested in taking part in a cube, but I don't want to be stood there with a mask on. Far too pretty for that. I'm too much of a talker. I'd like to be one of the people on the outside talking, and you know, maybe I will push towards that at some point. I've already done the pig save thing. There is a vlog, so I will link it up there if you fancy having a look. So now let's get back to me, because that's why I kind of started this vlog. I didn't do my New Year's ritual this year. I haven't done it yet. I'm considering this a part of it. This is my letter to the cosmos. This is my letter to 1921. Imagine 2021 saying, you did the best you could, and I'm really grateful for all you did, and regardless of the restrictions we were all under and the changes we all had to make to our lives, thank you. Thank you, because the allotment happened, and a year with my husband, another lucky year with my husband happened. Our 25th year together in June the 19th, we will have been a couple for 25 years and married for 13 of them. We've already, even at this point now, we've already known each other for 25 years. So I'm lucky. I'm very lucky, and I never ever take that for granted. I have somebody in my life who is wonderful, who I enjoy sharing every moment of it with, and yeah, you know, I'm very lucky. But there is a mental health, a negative mental health wave that keeps being held back because of new restrictions and COVID this and COVID that, and when it hits, my God, it's going to hit the world. I mean, does anybody watch Queer Eye? I love that show so much. I love that show, and this newest season 4 on Netflix now, almost every single one of them, there is some underlying mental health element that has been caused by the pandemic. Every story is beautiful, every single one of them. It's all Texas, and I think that was for a reason. And some of the t-shirts that some of the guys wear were done for a reason. It's the most political season I've ever seen, and the most fabulous. It was brilliant, but it just kind of, Jason and I were talking after it, and we said, you know, did you notice that some of them were very blatant about what they, you know, some of the businesses that had been affected by COVID, or some of the events that should have been going on. All of us have been so negatively affected by all of this COVID stuff. That's another thing to share with new people on the channel. The Vegan Queens, which is a massive part of my heart. I'll link the Vegan Queens channel up there, but in a moment of realism. The Vegan Queens is myself as the wonderful Gemini, who is actually my alter ego, a very deeply embedded and trusted, loyal, beautiful other half to me that I would be lost without. And the lovely Stuart Crowther from The Library is Open. I will link The Library is Open. I won't. It's down there in the description always. Right to the bottom of the description, friends. The Library is Open. Go and have a look. The Vegan Queens, and at the very beginning of 2020, just before the first major lockdown in the March, we, after having had worked for 3 years building our reputation, doing chicken shit gigs for nothing, we'd finally got some standing in the drag community. We had loads and loads and loads of bookings throughout 2020. We had a residency at Revolution in Manchester with the possibility of it stretching to other revolutions. It was amazing, and it all got cancelled. everything, every tiny bit of it got cancelled, because of course it had to, because, you know, COVID. So for those of you that have wondered what the hell I do all day, I do plenty of stuff. I can't work on a bar anymore, unfortunately, because of the aura. It's just a no-no. I would love to work in senior care again, but my experiences with urgent care teams, I'd left a very, very sour taste in my mouth, because people can be horrible when they feel threatened by you. If they feel that you're better than them, you do something better than them, and it highlights, they believe, a flaw in them, they will try and destroy you. I've really had to build up a barrier against that, because it's one of the parts of humans that sickens me. It disgusts me, and sometimes it's done unconsciously. It's a subconscious thing, because I think if people saw that in themselves, they would prevent it ever happening. So yeah, it's been a hell of a 5 years, honey. And here we are, having a coffee in my kitchen, talking about it all. I didn't want to do this at first. I did, but then I kept talking myself out of it. And then I remembered how important that self-care thing is. So, you know, I combed my hair, I put my contact lenses in, made myself a coffee, gave myself a spritz of my new Body Shop scent, Kistner. And I thought, yeah, here we go now. Of course, I've been ill for the last 5 days, if you didn't know. I had like a cold that then became a chest infection that I'm now on antibiotics for. Which is a good thing, because they were needed. I'd had it 14 days and it wasn't shifting. And it wasn't COVID, because I tested myself 4 times. And I've only had, this is my 2nd day on antibiotics, and I can already feel the benefit of them. Self-care is crucial. Medicines, by the way, a difficult part of the vegan journey, but an essential one. Don't forget that veganism is about abstaining from anything that has any impact on any animal's life in any way, as far as is practicable and possible. Which means medicines that you need to be well, you take. That's another thing. This is going to stop in a minute, but do you know what? I'm not quite ready for finishing. So I'm going to stop it myself and start it again and have another little chat before I finish. Right? Hello again. Make sure she's focusing on the right thing. She goes on stuff in background sometimes. You're like, what are you doing? Nobody was talking over there. I was the one talking. Sat there looking at the camera. So yes, I don't want this this particular kitchen vlog to be too long or one, and alienate new people to the channel. And if they're not your bag, just avoid them in future, because they're always going to be a constant on here. I am a man who likes to talk, and better to be talking to someone else than myself all the time. You know what I mean? Whether it will be, it'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow there'll be a little vlog, part 2 of our hunt for the wicked meal deal. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that for now. You don't need to know anything else. It's all in the vlog. So I'll leave it to the vlog. But I'm not even telling you whether part 2 is the end of the story. You'll just have to watch it. But I hope to any of you people who are established on the channel that you've enjoyed me having just a little bit of a chat again. I just like to always keep you aware that, you know, there is a lot of stuff goes on in this here mind of mine, and there is a lot of recovery still happening from a lot of things. Not just the horror and the being kicked off TV, not just all that, you know, but the recent things as well. The having a year's worth of show cancelled, which would have been a full-time wage each for Stuart and I. It felt like the beginning of something huge, and you know, with COVID, it was over like that. So a lot of my focus for the last couple of years, really, particularly over this the pandemic stages, have just been to plough as much of my time and effort into this YouTube channel as I can, and to always remember the reason that we started it in the first place, and the reason that Jason and I do most things. It's when we go through something like becoming vegan and we learn a lot of lessons on the way, and we think, oh, do you know what, that would have really helped me had it been around at the beginning of my vegan story. What would? A shopping vlog? Well, make one then. And thus the reason for this channel. Because in sharing our experiences, we are, I know, showing a lot of you out there that it is easy and cheap and accessible to be vegan. That you don't have to be a whole food plant-based vegan, although whole food plant-based food is absolutely wonderful, and you should, if you can, have as much of it as you can, because you'll feel fantastic for it. But don't deprive yourself a burger or a pizza or a pie now and again, you know, or even a few times a week. If you're having a load of veg and a load of salad with it, that's how we live our life. That's the kind of the message that we try to carry through almost all we do, is that we're 8 years into being vegan now, and we still have pies and burgers and pizzas, and we also have a lot of whole food plant-based stuff. And now, last year, we started growing our own stuff down at the allotment, and it's been a lovely journey, and we've documented it as much of it as we can to share with you guys. All of it, to just share as much information as possible. And that gives me purpose. I mean, if I don't want to minimise my marriage in any way, shape or form, because it is my purpose too. It's you know, spending every day with my best friend, who I happen to be married to, is a wonderful thing, and that would keep me afloat if nothing else did. But then you add this on top, and I've always got the chance to come in the kitchen and do a quick kitchen vlog, or, you know, help people throughout December and January to find the vegan products and, you know, maybe try it out. These are all good things, and so I try to focus on them. And the more that I can do them, the more I will do them, because they're what make me feel good. So, I haven't burnt my letter. I usually write a little letter to the old year, thanking it, and to the new year, suggesting things. And I make it into a corner and I burn it in the backyard. It's quite ritualistic. I haven't done it this year, but it's like, maybe a change is as good as a rest. Maybe that saying is true. So maybe me thanking 2021 here in this vlog and saying to 2022, we'd love the opportunity to get back on the drag show circuit. We'd love for this channel to grow and to easily allow us to plough more of our time and effort into it. We would love a really successful year at the allotment again. And if 2022 you can have a hand in ensuring any of that happens, we'd be most grateful. Sincerely, Paul Burgess. Right, I will get off now because I have waffled for quite a while, and it is quite a long one considering it's the first one of the year. I just wanted you to know I see you, I hear you, I'm there for you as much as I can, but I never want to spread myself too thin. So just know that some of the attacks you might get from friends and family for being vegan aren't a personal wanting to bring you down thing, they're a defense mechanism. Because people don't want to think about it. People don't like to think that an animal that didn't want to die was killed so your dinner could get on the plate. They don't like to think about that. None of us did though when we were meat eaters, did we? We mustn't forget that. None of us did. It's only because we became aware, we allowed ourselves to become aware, that we became vegans. So, you know. Right, do check out, so what have you got coming up? Right, tomorrow, Thursday, is the part 2 of the Wicked Meal Deal saga. It's fun, watch it. There's a possibility we'll get another shopping vlog done on Friday. Maybe Marks and Spencer's. And maybe Farm Foods. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a combo one. Oh, that's great, that, because that's like, you know, the cheap end and the higher end in one vlog. Ooh, dirty, filthy, I like it. So we'll probably get another shopping vlog done on Friday, but no promises. I'm not saying that's a definite. However, Saturday night, Saturday, Friday, Sunday. Oh, hang on, this weekend. Oh, it's Sunday Live in the Kitchen, I think, this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, because we chatted in the lounge last Friday, didn't we? Saturday, Friday, Sunday, yeah. Sunday Live in the Kitchen at 3 o'clock. Don't know what I'll be cooking yet, but I'll figure something out. I might actually do, because it's dead simple, I might do that, that meat pie I did. You know, the long one in the short crust pastry. Oh, it was good. It was dead easy. Really easy. Might do that, because that's a family pleaser, is that. So, anyway. Now I'm sharing my thought processes with you. Sorry. I'm sorry. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. And if you haven't, don't watch the kitchen vlogs anymore, because they probably won't be for you. I talk a lot. It helps some people. It certainly helps me. So thank you very, very much for listening. I'll see you again very soon. And until then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other. We got this, kid. 2022, we got this.